Imagine a world where everybody is connected. Imagine a world where somebody in Japan can do a transaction with somebody in the United States without high banking fees. Imagine a world no longer ruled by greedy corporate banks. There's going to become a time when we think of central banks in the same way we think about calling an operator to talk to a friend on the phone. This weird, annoying entity that came between us and the things we actually wanted. You aren't going to drown in fees anymore. You aren't going to borrow money from a bank. You aren't going to fight a half a dozen middlemen. It'll just be you and your money anywhere on earth. And once this happens, cryptocurrency could very well make the US dollar obsolete. Once people understand how easy this is and get used to it, the demand for legacy money controlled by a government and bank is going to plummet like a rock. Welcome to the world of cryptocurrency.
All right. Good morning, everybody. Welcome to Early Morning Crypto Talk. Bitcoin Brandon from Los Angeles, California. Go ahead and type in the chat box where you're listening in from. As a disclaimer, I am not a licensed financial advisor to be giving financial advice. I read the news, give my opinion, share a suggestion, and it is up to you to make an informed, intelligent decision on which direction you want to move into. So saying all that, let's go. Well, who do we have on? I see so far Susan. Good morning. Elijah from Hercules. Good morning. Daniel from Texas. Daniel, yes, it is official. I will be in Texas 2 weeks from tomorrow. Oh, no, 2 weeks from today. I'm getting there on the 25th. So I'll be in Houston on the 25th that weekend. Shauna Ross, Charlotte, North Carolina. Deborah from Colorado. Marion from Pennsylvania. Susan in Kentucky, Van Hairston from New Jersey, Miss Debbie from Texas, Stacy from New Orleans, she says sunny New Orleans, Dagmar, Lake Arrowhead, Michael from Lansing, Michigan. Good morning. So this is Friday, the end of a week. We're gonna screen share here and see what has the market been doing this week. So let's take a look. See if we get these loaded up. Oh, and I forgot to I got to refresh this. All right, come on up. So I hope you guys have had a good week so far. This has been a very, very, very busy week as we're getting ready for the next 5-day challenge that also starts a week and a half from now. Okay. Interesting. All right, the crypto market cap is still over 2 trillion. It is down almost 1% over the last 24 hours. Bitcoin dominance, though, has risen above 40%. 40.1%. Ethereum is steady at 18%. Bitcoin dropped by 2.8% yesterday. And remember what I said, I did Early Morning Crypto Talk for the iLearning crypto communities. For those of you that were also on that, it was at 44, 45K. And I said that that's the ceiling. If it can pass 46K, then it can easily slip up into the $53,000 range. However, if it cannot, and it hits like that ceiling, it's going to bounce down. If this gets below 42K, this can slip all the way to 35K. So we got to watch that closely because Bitcoin already is up 18% in the last 7 days. Ethereum is 16.7% up. Binance 12.3%. Ripple 35%. 35% up in the last 7 days. Cardano 9.9%. Solana 6.2%. Polkadot 9.8%. Avalanche is up 33.6%. Terra Luna 6.7%. Doge 11.2%. Shiba Inu 54% in the week. Crypto.com coin 29, Polygon Matic 22.2, Wrapped Bitcoin. Really? Wrapped Bitcoin? Well, oh yeah, that makes sense. It's going to be the same as Bitcoin. Litecoin 21.2, Tron 11.5, Bitcoin Cash, that's a surprise one, 21.3, Leo token 52. Okay, who are the best performers over the past week? Smooth Love Potion. It's just a funny name, especially if that's a token in a video game. Smooth Love Potion, 171%. Gala, 83%. Cadena, 57%. Shiba Inu, 54%. Leo Token, 52%. Elron, 49%. Theta Network, 45%. Celsius, 37%. Secret, 37%. Ripple, 35%. Oh, I like that. Axie Infinity's up 33.9%. Avalanche, 33.6%. Theta Fuel, 32.8%. Flow, Ethereum Classic. This is very, very healthy week in the crypto space. All the way, look at all the way down, all these double-digit green. Who has not had a good week? Maker, down 7.4%. And then Cosmos, down 1.1%. But that happened because of the last 24 hours. It dropped 4.1% in the last 24 hours. I just bought some of this yesterday, too, didn't I? Let me see. Yep, I bought 5 yesterday at $30.31. So I took a 4% loss or drop in value. So I'm just sit on that. We'll see what that does later. I bought Tezos too. I bought Tezos at $4.34. What is it today? Yeah, $4.34, $4.28. So I'm a drop of 1.8%. All right. Let's take a look at the secondary portfolio. Ooh, got to refresh. Okay. All right. Down $272 in the last 24 hours. But it is above 11,000. Remember, a week and a half ago, that was at $7,000. So it's up back up to 11,000. All of them are in the red except for Elron Gold is up 12%. Scale Network is up 21%. Immutable X is up 4.9. Audio 3.5. Who took the biggest loss? Adventure Gold 5. Theta Fuel 5. Ethereum Name Service down 5. Maker down 5. Cosmos down 4. Polygon down 6. Terra Luna and CRV down 4. And Solana's down 4. That's where the losses came. All right. And our, of course, right on time, Peter Blackwell. Hold on. Hey, Peter, I'm right in the middle of crypto talk. I'm going to hit you right back.
Okay. Sorry.
All right. Okay. Marnita, you see that right on cue. All right. Let's see. Vetter is down by 4%. Saitama's down 0.6. Wakanda's down 4. Toys is down 6. Does this ever go up? I've never seen this actually going up. It's been just on a steady drop. Oh, that was one dip back up there. Man. And then green. Oh, wow. Green's down 24% at 0.004. That's a good buying territory. What made the drop? I don't see. It didn't pop back up yet past a penny. It did here back on February 6th. All right, so I'm still. This is like a week-long trade on this one. I'm waiting because I'm going to sell it when it hits above 1.5 cents. Okay, so let's take a look at some of the news. Let's see. XRP rival scores new partnership as U.S. crypto exchange adopts its stablecoin on-ramp. I'm curious who that is. Shark Tanks. Kevin O'Leary exploring Ethereum, Matic, and these two altcoins. Yeah. Metaverse. Yeah. On-chain analyst Willie Wu says Bitcoin could become a $20 trillion asset. 20 trillion. Yeah. Is Bitcoin mirroring Apple's explosive growth? Fidelity's macro analyst likens Bitcoin to the world's richest company. Yeah, I'm gonna start with that one. Fidelity Investments Director of Global Macro, Jurian Timmer, says the price of Bitcoin is set to grow exponentially as the adoption rate increases. In a new interview, Timmer says that Bitcoin is following the same growth path as the world's largest firm by market cap, Apple. I've compared the whole network effect for Bitcoin to Apple Computer's network effect. So as Apple grows, its revenues, its stock price goes up exponentially from that. It doesn't go up in line. Bitcoin is following the same path. And so I think there's some very robust logic to why Bitcoin should see higher values as the demand curve evolves. The Fidelity Investments Global Macro Director says that Bitcoin is in a class of its own, distinct from other crypto assets. Okay. Maybe other digital assets will do better relative to Bitcoin because they are more scalable. But at the same time, maybe they're less decentralized. And that's why I would say that to me, Bitcoin is an asset class like a store of value, like gold. And the rest of the digital asset space is more almost like a venture asset. Okay, stop right there. Who was on Late Night Crypto Talk last night? How many of you listened last night and you really got what I was saying with Tim, who is an he's beyond an expert. This is a guy who coined the phrase Internet 2.0 and Web 3. And I broke down my disagreements with him and as why. Here's a guy who thinks like me, because what he says here is the opposite of what Tim said last night. But he says the same thing I said. Tim's whole point is that new technology may start off being decentralized, but over time, because of greed, companies, corporations, businesses, governments take it over and it becomes centralized. I disagree that that's going to happen on the Bitcoin side of things. But where I do agree with him is they're not going to be able to take it over. They're going to create their own. It's going to be called a digital currency. There's a difference between digital currencies and cryptocurrencies, and they can exist side by side. Whenever you hear the term CBDC, which will be a common term in our vocabulary, because all the banks and the government's going to be calling that a CBDC, central bank digital currency, the Fed coin, the US dollar, digital coin, digital dollar. That means it's centralized. It's controlled by an entity. Bitcoin is not controlled by an entity. Now, Tim says, well, it's the majority of it is in the hands of a small group of people. Therefore, it's centralized. Incorrect. Just because a small group of people own the majority doesn't mean they control its fate. They may be able to manipulate when they want to buy or sell, but they don't control it. They just have the most, just like gold. Because if he's got to make that argument, then he's also got to say gold is a Ponzi or a pyramid, like he called Bitcoin. Anyways, I'm going to read this one more time because what this guy is saying, and who's saying it? He is Fidelity Investments Director of Global Macro. So this ain't, Bubba Ray from the trailer parks. This dude knows what he's talking about. All right, here. The Fidelity Investments Global Director. I'm going to read it one more time. Maybe other digital assets will do better relative to Bitcoin because they are more scalable. I agree with that. But at the same time, maybe they're less decentralized. And that's why I would say that to me, Bitcoin is an asset class like a store of value, like gold. That's what I said last night. It is digital gold. And the rest of the digital asset space is more almost like a venture asset. That is more what Tim believes. Timmer also says that Bitcoin is currently in the same phase as gold. Back in the 70s, when the precious metals price was highly volatile. I think of Bitcoin as where gold was in the 70s. Now, Tim last night said that blockchain, where it is right now, is where the internet development was in 1983. Now, for you guys, when were you first, think back to it. When were you first made aware of something called the internet? Or we didn't call it the internet back then. We called it the World Wide Web. I don't think we started calling it the internet until the end of the 90s. Before that, it was called the World Wide Web. www. And my kids surprised me last night. I didn't think they were going to, off the top of their head, spitball would know what that was. www. World Wide Web. What year were you first made aware of the World Wide Web? And I think for me, it was maybe 96. Because I was in college and we had an internal network of when we had to do research projects, there was a college system that they were all connected. It was like the intraweb, but I forgot what we called it at the time. And I think that's when I remember hearing about the World Wide Web before that, but I didn't have, we didn't have that at home yet. 93, 94, when I first heard about email. And the only way you would access that kind of stuff was at school. The school lab, the school library. Bouget says 1995. Yeah, that's what I'm thinking the same thing. 95. And I knew about that because, we didn't have laptops and computers in our dorm rooms. We go into the computer lab and all the computers were interconnected to each other like an interweb. And some geeks figured out how to connect Morehouse's computer system with Club Woody. I called it Club Woody. Woodruff Library, that we called it Club Woody. I found something the other day. This right here. That is my college ID card. A young Bitcoin Brandon. On the back, you see it says 1996. But then I was looking at this, and at the top it says Robert F. Woodruff Library. That library, we call it the AUC, where you have Morehouse, Spelman, Clark Atlanta University, Morehouse School of Medicine, and Morris Brown, all right next to each other. called the Atlanta University Center, and we shared one big ass library, and we called it Club Woody because if you walked up in there, it looked like you was going to a club. The women dressed like they was going to the club to go to the library. That was hookup center. But anyways, some nerds figured out how to connect Club Woody's library, computer center, Morehouse Computer Center, Clark, and Spelman, and we would have gaming wars against the other schools with each other, and that was the game back then. I think it was Doom or a version of first-person shooter where you had multiple people playing at the same time, but you couldn't do it outside of that network. We called it the intraweb, and there was another term they called it too. I just don't remember it. But yeah, I would say 95, 96 when we first came aware, that maybe 97 when I got my own personal computer in college for myself. And I stayed off campus, so I had my own computer connected to the internet, but it was slow. It was real slow. That was not like how you think of it today. But the internet didn't just begin in the 90s. The idea behind it started in the 60s and 70s. It was actually the NASA project that really started using some version of the internet, the earliest version, the military application. And then you ever heard Al Gore, when Al Gore said he invented the internet? Remember that whole fiasco? Well, what he actually did, he signed, when he was like a congressman or a senator, he crafted and signed a bill that made the military version of the internet application to be able to become commercial. And he did that in the 80s when Ronald Reagan was president, and Al Gore was like a senator or something. So that's why he comes with "I invented the internet." But it was a military application first in the 70s and 80s. And then they made it commercial, and it came into with Bill Gates and his contracts. So anyways, a little bit of history lesson. But Tim says that the blockchain development where we are today is where the internet was in 1983. And I learned something new last night. I didn't even think that far back. I always say we're where the internet was in 1995, blockchain technology. And he's like, oh no, it's a decade before, which is even more impressive. All right. I think of Bitcoin as where gold was in the 70s. Whoa. Okay, yeah. Gold went from being money to being an asset class. Now, why is that? What do you guys know? What happened in the 70s where gold went from being money to being an asset class? You guys know your history. This all happened before I was born. I was born in 76. But you'd be surprised how many people still think money is backed by gold today. What happened was, before the 70s, actually, I got to even go further back before that. Before the 50s, the 40s, World War II, in the United States and the world, gold was a tradable commodity. I don't want to use that word. A spendable commodity. You know, you actually had gold. In the United States, there was a bill that was signed. Every citizen had to turn in their gold. The United States was stockpiling its gold. And they gave you, in return, they gave you this. They gave you this piece of paper. But on the paper, like this says $1, the old versions, it was called a gold note, meaning that this represented your gold that the federal government was holding. So you knew, I can go to the grocery store, I can buy stuff when I get paid my salary. You know, how do you think back in those days, the greatest generation, my grandparents' generation, those that were born in the 20s and 30s or the 20s, and they fought in World War II. And when they came back, they called them the greatest generation. That you can have one person working a full-time job, the wife stays home full-time, and on that one little salary, able to buy a house, 2 cars, white picket fence, had 8 kids, sent them all to school on one salary. Because that salary that we're getting was backed by something real, gold. Okay? 1971, gold standard was eliminated. Johnson eliminated the gold standard. Now all you had was that piece of paper. That piece of paper. That's it. Not backed by gold anymore. But the people didn't really understand that because the federal government made sure that the economy had to recognize that piece of paper, even though it was no longer backed by gold. So what happened next? People kept spending the money. And then the government said, hey, we can print more of this. You can't print more gold, but you can print more money. Thank you. Not Lyndon Johnson, Nixon. You can print more money. So they printed more of the paper. And you have more of that paper in circulation, the value of it goes down. So people say, why over the time my money, my purchasing power is dropping? Because they keep printing more of it. So now you can no longer live on one salary in the house. You need to have at least 2 salaries. The jobs you work for no longer pay a livable wage. I remember a report in Seattle, Washington that stated only 2% of available jobs actually paid a livable wage, meaning more than 40-something dollars an hour. Only 2% of available jobs paid more than $40 an hour. So you need to have at least 2 people in the household making $20 an hour or more. So now the household is breaking up a bit. You see how this it's like a catch-22. The same thing in the crypto space. When that happened, gold itself turned from being used for money because you were making money in gold to now I'm going to stockpile gold as an asset for a store of value to store my wealth. And that is how Bitcoin is being used as well. Bitcoin was not designed to be a store of value. I gotta listen to the white paper again. I don't ever remember seeing the word store of value for Bitcoin. It was just digital currency. But the people, we decide how it's going to be used. And the people decided that we will use Bitcoin as a store of value. Not, I'm going to sell my Bitcoin and go buy some milk, which is a huge mistake I made because I had to for 2 years. I was living off my Bitcoin. And that really is going to kick me in the butt 5 years from now. Anyways, okay. I think of Bitcoin as where gold was in the 70s. Gold went from being money to being an asset class. And it went through price discovery. It was a teenager. It was coming of age. It was very volatile. It went up a lot, but it had huge, huge drawdowns as well. Bitcoin is doing the same thing. All right, that was interesting. Next. Ripple rival scores new partnership as U.S. crypto exchange adopts its stablecoin on-ramp. Crypto exchange OK Coin now supports the Stellar USD coin USDC. OK Coin. Do I have an account with them? On ramp after inking a partnership deal with Stellar Development Foundation. Is that why Stellar went up? Because I saw the other day Stellar had a bump. Well, it's up 18% on the week. Wonder if that was why. News of this partnership. This integration marks a step in an ongoing effort to expand access to a faster and cheaper USDC. USDC on Stellar allows for near zero transaction costs and provides incredibly fast settlement, taking about 5 seconds to finalize a transaction. A growing number of businesses and wallets on the Stellar network are leveraging USDC to improve their offerings and expand into new markets. The integration makes OK Coin the first exchange to allow US-based customers to deposit and withdraw USDC via the Stellar network. Says OK Coin CEO Hong Feng, "We're proud to be the first exchange to bring Stellar USDC to the US market. Stablecoins play a critical role in the decentralized economy, and this asset in particular is enabling a truly borderless digital dollar. Stellar USDC's utility, speed, and security make it a natural fit for our platform. Stellar's new partnership comes as XLM's rival, XRP, is rallying amid the development in Ripple's case with the Securities and Exchange Commission over the alleged illegal sale of XRP as securities. At time of writing, Stellar is trading at 22 cents, while Ripple is exchanging hands for 82 cents. All right. I will put this one on my watch list. The exchange. Let's watch Stellar. Stellar I have in my main portfolio, but I have not added to it in a long time. Watch Stellar. Okay. Shark Tank. Kevin O'Leary exploring Ethereum, Polygon, Matic, and these two altcoins as metaverse bets. Shark Tank investor Kevin O'Leary says he is investing in metaverse altcoins as the nascent crypto sector takes off. In a new interview on Kitco News, the celebrity investor says he considers Ethereum, Matic, Hedera, and Helium to be the software that the metaverse will be built on. I read that too fast. It didn't click. Let me do it again. In a new interview on Kitco News, the celebrity investor says he considers Ethereum, Matic, Hedera. I do not have a stake in Hedera. And Helium to be the software that the metaverse will be built on. So I know about 3. HBAR. Hedera hash graph. How many of you, anybody own this one? 25 cents. Oh, 50 billion total supply. All-time low 2 years ago. It was at almost a penny. All-time high 5 months ago, it got to 56 cents. It's 55% away from its all-time high, so that is a good buying area. I need to put today's date is the 11th. Watch Stellar. Watch Hedera. That's the price. 25 cents. Anything that's the metaverse stuff, I'm paying close attention, but I don't own that one. And Helium makes me sick, so I don't think about Helium. If you're willing to buy a Facebook, a Google, or Microsoft, that's all software. And the metaverse is just software. So I'm starting to take positions in some of these big platforms where the metaverse is going to live, like in Polygon and HBAR and Ethereum. Bitcoin itself is just software, it's not a coin. So I keep telling people, if you're willing to invest in traditional software as service companies like Microsoft, why aren't you investing in Ethereum? Why aren't you investing in Polygon and HBAR and Helium and all of these different platforms? He's right. I like his view on it, how he's coming at it. He's like, I'm not coming at it from I'm getting coins that I want to spend. I'm coming at it as an investment in an asset that is going to be developing the new version of society. I like that. I've got a pretty wide selection of these different software platforms, not knowing which ones will be successful, but it's diversification. What did I say? Did I share this last night? I said my goal is to have a $10 million investment firm that invests in, like day 5 of the 5-day challenge. We talk about the path to becoming a crypto billionaire. It's not going to be based on how many tokens you buy. The only way that's possible, if you're like the Winklevoss twins, you can put $10 million down on coins. The way you're going to become a crypto billionaire is going to be investing in businesses, building a platform on the blockchain, finding those platforms. That is what he's saying right here. That's what he's doing. He says, I don't know which one it's going to be. Here's a fact. NFTs is not going anywhere. Metaverse is not going anywhere, contrary to what Tim was saying last night. However, what businesses built on those platforms are going to survive? We don't know. So if there's 4 or 5 of them, what if I put a little bit in every single one? Diversify, and then we'll see which one lasts. Like the reason I have this secondary portfolio here, that we're going to have it to $100,000 by June. We have 27 coins in this one. I don't expect all 27 to do anything. I only need maybe 3 or 4 out of the 27. I just don't know which ones those are going to be. So, got to diversify. I like what he's saying here. O'Leary comments that the metaverse could change the course of marketing products and brands. I'm going to restate that. It is going to change the course, not could change the course. It will change the course of marketing products and brands. Again, last night, I was using examples against Tim. When the Idiot Box first came out, television, and people said, who's going to sit in front of that television for hours? You're just wasting your time. If you sat in front of it for more than an hour or 2, they thought you were stupid and crazy when it first came out. Now there's a television in every room. So now it's not about how much time are you spending in front of the television. It is how much time are you spending in front of a screen. A television is a screen. A cell phone is a screen. A laptop is a screen. How many hours of your day are you spending in front of that screen? And the metaverse is the next evolution of where you're going to be spending your time, which is why I disagree with what Tim was saying. We're just going to be moving what we normally do on our cell phones, on our laptops, on TV. We're just going to be moving that into the metaverse with things like this, devices like this. And this, probably 10 years from now, we're going to laugh at this. Like, you want to see something funny? I found something else that my kids make fun of me with. Okay. My TV remote looks like this. This thing controls my TV. It controls Netflix and all that other stuff. But back in the 80s, this was my remote control. Look at this sucker here. RCA. Look how big this thing is. Look at the buttons. When I showed this to my kid, he laughed at me. He was like, what in the world is that? But as a kid, I thought that this was the coolest thing ever. And we even have, you see, I have a little Velcro back here because my dad on the side of the TV had this little Velcro mount. So we put the remote on it and then zip, zip, stick it off so we wouldn't lose the remote. But I was smaller in the 80s. So my hands were smaller. So holding this remote, I thought I was powerful. This big thing. In the future, that's what this is going to be. People are going to think, you guys had to wear that stuff. You know what the metaverse is going to end up? It's going to be contact lenses in your eyes. What? You see, Hanif. Hanif says, what's that? Hanif is 24 years old. That means he was born in 1997, somewhere around there. My oldest son is 23. He was born in 98. He don't know nothing about this. My youngest is 14. My youngest doesn't even know what a phone jack in the wall is. He said, what is that? It says a phone jack. For what? He said, you got to plug a phone into the wall? That's what my 14-year-old actually said. You have to plug a phone into the wall. That was a foreign concept to him. At least my 23-year-old knew what a phone jack was. But that's what the next generation is going to be like, what the hell is this? You just put a contact lens in. Now you're talking about really augmented reality. You're walking around seeing something completely different than reality. Oh, technology is going to have us going a whole nother level. Bouget says payphones. When I was younger and I left the house, my mom would always say, you got some change on you. So that if you're ever in trouble, you can go to a payphone, you can call. Or we had to do, what is that? Collect call. But make sure you always had change on you. Make sure you had a couple quarters. Back then, or a couple dimes, 2 dimes, you can make a phone call. Payphones. The only time I see payphones now is, last time I saw a payphone was when I went to London. And they've got those red boxes, payphones. Is Melissa on here? Melissa knows. She's from UK. That was the last time I saw a payphone. Wow. All right. I go way off on tangents, guys. I get excited about this stuff. Okay. It says it's diversification. If you believe in the next 3 to 5 years, when things continue to move online, particularly experiential advertising, I have not heard that. That is something new, a new term. Experiential advertising. You're going to find that in the metaverse, where it's going to manifest itself in gaming first. Now, I said it last night. Gaming is one of the biggest things that people are excited about the metaverse, but there are so many more applications beyond gaming. I talked about, because of COVID, lockdown, school. Imagine kids virtual learning and not just sitting in front of a laptop in a corner of your house, but them putting on devices like this, and they're going to a physical, well, not physical, but a virtual world where their avatar is sitting in a classroom and all their friends and classmates are sitting there with them, with the teacher up front. You look to your left, you look to your right, you see your other friends. You know, you are immersed in the world. What about boardrooms? What about business? I shared last night too. I own a VIA in this metaverse world, Euphoria.io. And I'm already thinking of plans. I already have plans what I'm going to be doing. I'm going to be doing crypto talks in my VIA in the virtual world. I know me and the CEO are talking right now. And we're discussing about putting my Ivy League Crypto Academy in the metaverse. How cool is that? So you see these walls when you're walking around, because you can put NFTs and stuff on the walls. I put my courses and they're clickable. So you go into my school, you click on it, and it takes you into a class. It takes you into another, like what Kevin says, experience. This is next level stuff here. Your imagination is the limit. Your imagination is a limit. Where this is going, where it's going to do. I can't figure out a big ass building in the metaverse that says Ivy League Crypto Academy. It's going to happen one way or another. Now that I know that this is possible. But I own a VIA. Where is there one where it looks like it? Real world stuff. Okay. Anyways, experiential advertising. You're going to find that in the metaverse, where it's going to manifest itself in gaming first. And so we're going to see a lot of gaming happen, and esports is a big part of that. I think this is the direction it's going in. Do you guys know the feeling of what it's like to attend a sports event live? It's completely different than watching it on TV. I remember when I went to my first, I grew up watching wrestling. And my grandpa took me to a live wrestling event. And wow, it was just, I remember when my dad took me to my first Laker game at the Forum. You know, feeling the energy of the crowd. I understand, the players. If you've ever played in front of a large crowds like that. I've spoken in front of thousands of people on stage. And it is a completely different feeling than if you are, at home. So imagine attending a concert. Like, okay, I remember I went to a Michael Jackson concert in the 80s. I went with my aunt. And just the vibration of it, of being there. I mean, at the time, like, why go to a concert? I can listen to his music at home. What's the difference between paying all the money to go there? The experience of it. Can you imagine in attending a concert in the metaverse where you're not at home, physically you're at home, but your whole consciousness is there with everybody else? See, you have to understand your brain does not understand reality. Reality is what you tell it is, what your experience. So it doesn't know that you're sitting at home. Your brain thinks you're there. When they say what happens in the virtual world will affect you in reality. Imagine going on a date with somebody in the virtual world, experiencing things. You know what was real popular about this? Who here loves Star Trek? I'm a Trekkie. I have seen every single episode of every Star Trek there is. My favorite right now was Discovery. I love the captain. She's my crush right now. Star Trek. But in Star Trek Next Generation in the 90s with Captain Jean-Luc Picard, they introduced a new technology called the holodeck. You guys remember the holodeck? Hanif, you know what I'm talking about? Bouger, you do? Yeah, I got a crush on the new captain. But the holodeck, where you actually is walking into a new world, a new experience. That's virtual reality. Before the blockchain. The blockchain now makes that possible. The idea has always been here. But now you're going to be able to experience it from the safety of your home. How about going to a movies with your friends without leaving your home? But you put on, I can do that right now. This technology, I can actually pull up my Netflix account on it. And I'm sitting in a movie theater and the screen is bigger than any screen you can have in your home. And I can watch stuff. The only problem with this technology for me, well, I don't use this all the time, was I can't go more than 30 minutes without getting a headache. So I don't mess with this too much. But I haven't played with the new versions, the Oculus 2 and the others, because this one, you still need to put, this is the old version. You got to put your Android phone on it, and then you have the app. This is the Gear VR Oculus. But the new ones, you don't need your cell phone. And they're cheap now. I think they're only like 200 something bucks to do that. But can you imagine you've got a friend in a different part of the country and you'd be like, you know what, hey, let's meet up in the middle. Let's go watch a movie together. And you're able to talk to each other. You're sitting right next to each other. You're just not physically, touching, that kind of stuff. But you're there, the time. I like this. Experiential advertising. There are two directions of the metaverse. Unruled, uncurated metaverse, where if you're a big brand, let's say Procter & Gamble, you can find yourself set up in the metaverse right beside a porn shop. That's true. So, in other words, this is the wild, wild west. For all the positive type applications, like what about doctor visits? What about therapy? What about needing to see your psychologist or psychiatrist, like this, the psych doctor? And you're doing it in the metaverse. Teledoc takes a whole new meaning because these devices you got where I'm doing a, you know what? I'm gonna give you guys a sneak peek at I just finished my lessons for almost. I have one more to go. Where is the wearable devices? Blockchain, IoT expansion, work, commercial, importance in our everyday lives, applications. Is it this one? I'm going to show you guys a sneak peek because I'm almost finished with my next generation of courses. The first is going to be the Internet of Things, 15 videos, 15 different topics. And one of them was talking about the IoT and wearable devices. And you're going to have like your watch. I have a hearing aid. Do you know what I can do with this thing? This is not just a hearing aid. This is also a Bluetooth device. I can listen to music with it. I can answer phone calls. I have an app on my phone that can regulate if I'm in a room with a lot of people, if I'm in a movie theater, if I am at a sporting event, if I am in a room, if I'm at dinner and I need to drown out the rest of the sound so I can just have a conversation. The technology is so much more, and I can do that all with this little device. But this little device can also record data and information, and your phone, your watch can record your heartbeat, your blood pressure, and all that stuff. These wearable devices. So Teledoc can have all of that. Let's see, what is this one? No, home. Here you go. IoT and wearables. I'm going to give you guys a sneak peek. Check this one out. Multiple wearables that flooded the IoT market recently can all be roughly classified as health and fitness devices. Apple, Samsung, Jawbone, and Misfit wearables all represent this area of IoT use. Such devices monitor heart rate, caloric intake, sleep, track activity, and many other metrics to help us stay healthy. In some cases, such wearables can communicate with third-party apps and share information about the user's chronic conditions with the healthcare provider. In addition to the personal use of health wearables, there are some advanced smart appliances, including scales, thermometers, blood pressure monitors, and even hairbrushes. A report just came out about Bob Saget, how he died. And they're saying that he had blunt trauma to his head. They think he fell, hit his head, but he probably didn't think nothing of it, and he went to sleep. But they also found in the autopsy, he had fractures around his eyeballs. He had an enlarged heart. One of his arteries was 95% blocked, and he had COVID in his system, and 2 whatever medications he was taking. And he just laid down and went to sleep and died. With this technology, what if alerts go out? Because it's monitoring your blood pressure, it's monitoring your arteries, it's monitoring your heart, your rhythm while you're sleeping, your brain activity. And all of a sudden, the app alerts, major alert, you need to go to the hospital right now. Or better yet, the hospital's alerted and they're contacting you. Now, there's going to be political ramifications about this type of stuff, about invasion of privacy and all that. I'm not even getting into any of that. I'm only telling you what's possible. Because, my grandma had life alert. As she got older, she was always falling. And I remember one time we found her in the closet. She was down there for 30 minutes on the ground. Didn't even know she fell. But what if automatically, just because of the devices you're wearing, like I have on my phone, I have this app that's called Health. It captures all my steps. So this is how I know, if I'm doing 2, 3, 4, 5 miles in a day. And it also can monitor my blood pressure if I put my finger or my heart rate, all that kind of stuff. But I have to have this, carry it with me. What if there was devices like if I had contact lenses where all of that information was going to and backed up in the cloud? Speaking of the cloud, I even had, IoT and the cloud. And I never used to trust the cloud because I'm like, hey, because I'm always thinking of how I was in the 90s. And I'm like, if there was video cameras about me when I was doing stupid stuff, Freaknik, Daytona Beach, all that kind of stuff, what if it went to the cloud? I don't control. Who else has access to the cloud to see me doing something stupid? So I had never really trusted the cloud until now because of the blockchain. Well, I'm not going to go all into this, but this is another lesson. What is the cloud? How does blockchain and IoT, like this one, the IoT and the cloud? So you guys are getting a sneak peek here. I'm showing you the next lessons that's about to drop. That those of you that are the founding members get access to all this stuff, because I'm also be doing. I haven't decided next because I'm almost finished with this. If I'm going to do DeFi or NFT next, because everything is progression, and DeFi was not before NFT. So I'm thinking I need to knock out DeFi first. IoT, DeFi, NFT, Metaverse, and then Web3. I think in that order. But as we saw from the last 5-day challenge, most of the questions that people asked had to do with NFTs, because this year, NFT and Metaverse is going to be the hottest thing. So I've just got to knock them all out. And it's taken me longer than I expected. When I made the first 45 videos, it took me 30 days to do it. I have to do it's like homework. I have to research, because if you're teaching yourself, realize that 50% of the information out there is automatically going to be wrong. So I've got to sift through information and data. I even find there's competing. You can Google or search on a topic, and you'll find 2 experts equal in status, and they're both saying the opposite thing about the same topic. Who's right? So I got to do all of that research, put the lesson plan together first, and then figure out in what order does it need to go, because I like to break this down in a way my mama can understand, package it together, and then once I have all that done, then comes the hard part. And the hard part is actually recording it, because I am very good off script, off the cuff. Which is why next week we start the live classes every Tuesday and Thursday from 8 p.m. to 10 p.m. Eastern time. Those of you who have my courses, I'm going to be taking lessons out and going over them live. So you're not just watching the video. So you're going to get my input. You're going to ask questions. I am far better at that than I am recording myself doing this. I can't tell you how many retakes I need to make, because I can't. All of a sudden I forget how to speak. It is most frustrating. But once I get in my zone, then I can start putting it out. But that's the most difficult part. But I'm giving you guys a sneak peek. You can see, what I've been working on these things. So next up is what we drop is the Internet of Things. Anyways, let's go back to this. So there are 2 directions that this can go into. Procter and Gamble, but then the other side. This is late night crypto talk type stuff. Porn shop. Because of COVID, I have never been able to do some more research on a question that we asked back in the day. Those of you who've been listening to me for a while, you know what I'm talking about, because I was curious. Whenever there's new technology, the criminal and underseedy elements always grab it first, and then the sex industry does. And I was curious, because in Vegas, there was some strip clubs that said, you know what we're going to do, especially on the safety side, because they had a string of robberies. I was reading an article about this. They said, people love to make it rain, right? What if the strippers got paid in crypto? And there was a strip club in not the Bunny Ranch, another one that did, where they had tattooed QR codes, where if you had your cell phone, all you had to do was scan the code and you can pay them right there on the spot without having to take out any cash. My question was, where are those tattoos? Are they real? We need to have some investigative research. And I was looking for some volunteers, but we haven't been able to do that. But that's where the future of this is. The metaverse porn shop? That's not going to happen in Facebook, where they're going to curate the metaverse. That may have more value long term. Because if I'm putting up a brand that I'm trying to protect, that means something to me. I don't want to put it up. Oh, and I already know somebody's going to shoot me. Brandon, you shouldn't have been talking about porn and everything, blah, blah. Stop. There's a reason why it's almost $1 trillion industry. I'll leave it at that. That may have more value long-term, because if I'm putting up a brand that I'm trying to protect, that means something to me. I don't want to put it up beside a liquor store or a porn shop or whatever else is on the metaverse that's unregulated. So he's looking for a little bit of safety. He's waiting for the regulation to take place. But he's not stupid either. He sees where this is going. And he's looking at it from a certain point of view. And I kind of like that. I'm gonna adopt a little bit of that. All right, last up. On-chain analyst Willie Woo says Bitcoin could become a $1 trillion asset class. But there's a catch. Now, again, reading the charts, knowing how to read it is important. Do you understand how big this is? What is Bitcoin's market cap right now? It's not even $1 trillion. But I can tell you exactly what it is. 826 billion. So think of all the Bitcoin millionaires and billionaires in the world today. For the last 12 years, all came from the market cap being this high, 826 billion. What do you think's going to happen if this market cap is 20 trillion? Bitcoin represents 40% right now. I think at that time, Bitcoin will probably represent 25 to 30%, maybe less, which means the entire crypto market cap has got to be more than $45 trillion, which means that money's got to go somewhere. These altcoins. You're not going to become a Bitcoin millionaire, but you can become an altcoin millionaire. This is blowing my mind right now. $20 trillion? I've only been talking about the next 5 to 10 years, this becoming an $8 to $10 trillion industry, the whole industry, which will put Bitcoin at around 3 trillion. But this guy's saying 20 trillion. All right, let's read. On-chain analyst Willie Woo says Bitcoin could increase its market cap by more than 20 times from current levels in the next decade. Okay, I'm 45. I'll be 55. In a new interview, the on-chain analyst says that Bitcoin could reach a market cap of nearly 20 trillion within 10 to 20 years. Oh, I'm going to be a billionaire. There ain't no doubt about that. I think Bitcoin's market cap will be more, maybe close to $20 trillion. Bitcoin is trading for 43,936 at time of writing, while the flagship crypto market cap stands at slightly over 830 billion. Now, did I need to read this article to know these numbers? No. You use your education and you can research it yourself. You don't have to listen to what somebody else says or what another so-called expert is saying. You know how to read the charts. I showed you where to get that information. It's currently at 43,000. Market cap's 800 billion. Total market cap is 2 trillion. And then he says it here. Wu says that whether Bitcoin realizes a multi-trillion-dollar market cap will be determined by how the regulatory landscape pans out. Okay, how? I'm curious. I think a lot's got to do with how this plays out within regulation. A lot of unknowns are going on right now. According to Wu, authorities in places such as Europe are impacting Bitcoin negatively by triggering fear, uncertainty, and doubt. The central bankers, particularly in Europe, are dooming Bitcoin, and there's a lot of FUD right now. I think how that resolves matters. In 2021, the president of the European Central Bank, Christine Lagarde, branded Bitcoin a highly speculative asset used to conduct funny business and called for global cooperation aimed at regulating the flagship crypto. Last month, Vice Chair of European Securities and Markets Authority Eric Thedeen called for the banning of Bitcoin mining in the Europe Union bloc. The on-chain analyst also says that Bitcoin could end up failing to realize its full potential. There is a fair chance that Bitcoin will be regulated to a good try and will be a $1 trillion sort of exotic asset class and not something that's major. I disagree with that. Like Bill Gates said in 2014, Bitcoin can't be stopped. So although I'm intrigued with his $20 trillion number, I disagree with that. It's going to be just an exotic asset class. Like I said last night, you can't put the genie back in the bottle. It can't be done. All right. So what is going to happen next? What's going to happen next? Well, we are, for two things. I'm going to be in Houston 2 weeks from now. There's a WCL event, so I am confirming that I will be there. And next week starts the countdown to the 5-day challenge. So if you want to be a part of the 5-day challenge and you are not, then all you have to do is go to ilcachallenge.com. It is free. 5-day challenge, ilcachallenge.com. Register. If you really want to be involved, then you want to upgrade to the VIP. Upgrade to the VIP. And the VIP is one time, $97. And why do you want to do that? Well, you're not going to be able to watch the 5-day challenge just in the Facebook group, but you're going to get backstage pass. You're going to be hanging out with me and the panelists on Zoom. We go for at least an hour after we stop broadcasting, going over Q&A. Going over Q&A. That's the lifetime pass. Wait. That's the member pricing. Member pricing. No. Lifetime pass. My bad. Yeah, lifetime pass. $97 one time. Also, I'm moving all of my crypto talks will be only for VIP members and above only. I will only do maybe one a week that's open like this. But you've got to be a part of the VIP. No longer will I be doing stuff just for clients and anything like that. You got to come to me and my platform. And then finally, if you want the courses, because next Tuesday I start the live courses where we already have Bitcoin 101, Crypto Advanced, and how to trade Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies. But then I just showed you my next courses: Internet of Things, then DeFi, NFTs, Metaverse. That is at least 60 more videos. you have to have become a founding member. The price is $29.97. We're talking about more than 100 videos on crypto. $29.97. However, if you are a VIP member, then you get special price for that. That special price is $9.97. Special price. One time. $9.97. If you are a prior student of mine, meaning you've purchased my crypto from either me directly or any of my clients that's selling it, then you need to send me a private message, and I'm knocking that price again off by 50%. You only need to pay $500 more. And you're going to get all of the other courses that's about to come out. I'm not going to charge you for courses you've already paid for. I'm just going to charge you for courses you haven't. And because you've been with me for a while, you get it knocked off by half. I'm also allowing those of you who want to earn money, because you have gone through, especially those of you that went through the last month's 5-day challenge, you see how valuable that is. Don't you think other people need that type of information for free? So you can become a promoter. You have to be a VIP member to be a promoter. So you can be a promoter, and you'll have your own link to the 5-day challenge that you can share to bring people to the 5-day challenge for free, February 21st. Any of them, I have a marketing team that is going to be marketing to upgrade to the VIP. Anybody that upgrades to the VIP through your link, you're getting 10% of whatever of that price. Not only are you going to get 10% of the $97, but what if they decide to get the course for $9.97? You're also going to get 10% of that. And then it gets even better. What if they say, "Man, this is tight. I need to share it with my community," like Steve Carter and Pasha Carter, Oliver Carter are doing, with the VIP global community, and they share it with others. Well, I'm going to give you 5% of them. I have 15% set aside to pay out of that $9.97 and the $97. So one individual earned more than $1,400 last 5-day challenge. Now, this is not designed for you to get rich, but I always share the story on how I flipped $30 into 6 figures in 3.5 months. So at least you can have a little bit of money, and then you use that money to put into your crypto portfolio and flip it. I showed it the other day how what $1,400 worth of IMC coins or tokens can look like in the next 2 years. From you starting from scratch, you shared the crypto education, the money you made from it, you bought IMC tokens, you waited 2 years, the IMC token flips up. There you go. That's how I did what I do. So this is a very, very exciting time. I encourage you guys. We're now doing the countdown to the 5-day challenge for February 21st. I will be in Houston at the end of the week on February 25th. I'm leaving that Sunday and then be back. And then I will have at least one brand new course done and recorded before the month is out. That's the IoT. I may be able to have 2. I don't know. Maybe before the month is out. That'll be an extra 30 videos. 15 for sure, but extra 30. And then in the month of March, by the end of March, I will have NFT metaverse done. That's a guarantee. All right, everybody. I hope you learned something new. As always, that's the point. This is Friday. Man. I've got a WCL presentation I am doing today for Nigeria. My South African team is probably going to be on there as well. So if you ever want to know about the IMC token, this is going to be at 2 p.m. Eastern, 11 a.m. Pacific on www.teachmecrypto.info. Teachmecrypto.info. Today at 2 p.m. Eastern, I'm doing a presentation for WCL. This is not a company presentation. This is a private one for my team that I'm inviting. You can you can listen in, see what that's all about. In fact, there is a special going on right now too, that for whatever IMT tokens you purchase in the packages, you're going to get a 20% more increase. Oh, I'm also running a promo for my own company. Anybody that gets the founding member is going to get a 2-night vacation anywhere they want in the United States. 2-night vacation. Anybody that upgrades and gets the courses for $997. Okay. And I don't know, my CMO, I don't know if he put that for the rest of the month or until next Tuesday for the class. But you want to upgrade before next Tuesday. If you have not got the class yet, you want to get it. You only have to pay one time. You're done at that point. So we got a lot of cool stuff happening as well. Swag, t-shirts, all that. We're going to have graduation, certificates. We're going to have a whole lot of fun with this journey. So with that, yeah, today I got that at 2 p.m. Eastern. Then I'm going off the grid, working. This is my Wingstop night. Tomorrow I will be back for early morning crypto talk for Saturday morning. Then we've got another corporate WCL presentation. Then I've got an iLearning crypto presentation. And then I'm doing nothing on Sunday. It's Super Bowl day. So I'll be off the grid on Sunday. All right, everybody, take care. I will end by playing a short little video here, and I'll see you all in a couple hours. Bitcoin Brandon out. Bye-bye.
From the beginning of time, man has always had a pursuit of the best quality of life possible. That quality of life is not possible without resources. The form of resources we have accumulated has changed over time from cowrie shells, state-controlled money, precious metals, real estate, and stocks and bonds. Over the past 100 years, the world has been dominated by the US dollar and its reserves. But everything that has a beginning also has an end. A new financial revolution is upon us with the emergence of a digital economy. The way we earn, spend, and accumulate resources is fundamentally changing. A new asset has appeared that the wealthy have overlooked. Bitcoin has become the best performing asset of the past decade by far. With only 21 million ever in existence, there are more millionaires and billionaires in the world today than there are Bitcoin. Just by holding 0.25 Bitcoin today will put you in the top 1% asset holders in the world in the next 5 to 10 years. If you had invested $100,000 in Bitcoin in 2013, today it will be worth more than $15 million. Bitcoin billionaire Raoul Pal says, Bitcoin's performance is so dominant and so all-encompassing that it is going to suck in every single asset narrative dry and spit it out. Never before in my career have I seen a trade so dominant that holding any other assets makes almost no sense. This is not an industry you can afford to ignore. If you want to remain in business, then you must adapt. Are you offering services in Bitcoin? Are you accepting payments with digital currencies? Have you adopted blockchain technology? Blockbuster Video at one point was the most dominant video service in the world. They had the opportunity to be part of Netflix, but they ignored the changing technology. Where is Blockbuster today? Where will you be tomorrow?